One day several years ago, I was sitting in New York City and my brother was beside me. We were sitting in a computer lab at my undergrad. And I had a severe case of vertigo for many years. I would get dizzy. Well, dizzy's where you just feel off balance. Vertigo is when the world actually spins. Like you look out and things start moving. It's kind of trippy. And anybody who's had vertigo knows what I'm talking about. It's not the most fun experience in the world, but this vertigo actually gave me a spider sense, I guess, because I looked at my brother. I said, "Did you feel that?" He goes, "What are you talking about?" And then about 15 seconds later, there was an earthquake. Now, it wasn't a big earthquake at all. It was just, I think it was like a 4 on the Richter scale. I don't know. It's a very small earthquake in New York City. New York City can have them occasionally. But enough to make the computers we were at start shaking, and everybody kind of came outside. And if you're in New York City, I'm sure you remember it, because I think that's the last time there was an earthquake here. I can't remember what year it was, probably 2012, somewhere around there. At any rate, I went outside and I thought, man, none of these buildings are earthquake proof. I mean, no, like, they were built in the 1900s. Who even considered making these things, I don't even know if the technology was around them to make them earthquake proof. Probably not. But I thought, God, how much just that little shake and these buildings might be vulnerable. Like it wouldn't take much to turn New York City into complete rubble. At any rate, nothing serious. They inspected a lot of the buildings. Everything was fine. And I think going forward, some of the buildings will be built earthquake proof. And, well, as I do, I was looking at all the skyscrapers in downtown Manhattan and thinking, wow, a lot of people are built like these buildings. When life shakes them, they don't really have any defense. They're so vulnerable. And a major earthquake, a death, relationship ends, in the form of divorce or even a breakup, somebody passes away around them, business fails, money, they're done. They're devastated. They're not earthquake proof. So a lot of what I do is to try to help you become earthquake proof. When you go through something, to show you, to proof you, to make sure that you're proofed against life's calamities, to make sure you're emotionally capable of handling what comes your way. When we say we're scared of life, when we think about the future and we have worry, what are we actually worried about? We're worried about what we're going to subjectively experience. We're worried about what's going to happen in our internal space. We're not really so much worried about what's going to happen in the world. We're worried about what's going to happen inside of us, what we're going to experience. And a lot of that has to do with emotion. So a lot of my work is focused on emotion and how you deal with repressed emotion, how you deal with emotion as it just jumps you. You're walking down the street and emotion comes out of nowhere and leaps on top of you and tackles you and takes over your body and takes over the control system. So we're trying to figure out what we can do when that happens to regain control, to get rid of the negative feelings, and then hopefully, eventually, you're completely earthquake proof. Now, when the earthquakes hit, it's not that you don't move, but your building can take the shock. It doesn't crumble. I was in Taipei recently, and one of my friends showed me around the city. Great friend, took me up to the top of Taipei 101, and that's a really tall skyscraper if you don't know. At the top of the building, there's this enormous weight, this enormous ball. And when an earthquake hits, what happens is this ball at the top of the building, if the building's going this way, I'm simplifying it a little bit, if the building shakes this way, the ball goes that way. So it keeps the building earthquake proof. And that's kind of what you do emotionally. When your emotions take you this way, you learn how to go back the other way towards equilibrium. And you do that through a method some people call surrender, some people call release. I call it burning or dropping. And I'm creating a program specifically on that. I try to get away from the verbal aspect of self-help and changing yourself psychologically and get you more in tune with nonverbal emotional energy. I don't want to say fields because that's too new agey, but that's what it is. You start to get in tune with more of the emotional energy and how you can handle that. And if you learn how to handle that emotional energy, you become earthquake proof. You become life proof. It's not that you don't feel it, but you know what to do when you feel it. You know, just like that ball on the top of Taipei 101, when you feel an earthquake, you start to automatically adjust yourself so you don't fall down. This is Dylan. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I should have that program out very soon, and I'll let you guys know.